Good morning, everyone. This is Thursday, October 3rd, 2019, and it's about 7:05 my time, and I hope everybody out there is doing great. I want to explain about my Turn All Energy and wanting to pioneer the solar art energy. Those of you that just want to get a cap of what's going on, not listen to my voice or see my ugly face, you can read everything down below about what I'm saying. I say luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Since 1999, yours truly, Renew You, has been rediscovering the plethora of electrical devices and lost technologies concerning useful energy harvesting for independent patriots to build for themselves and experiment with. Primarily, I've been working in the field of uninterruptible power supplies, UPS technology. When the utility company interruption occurs, those of us prepared, our lights stay on. I can do a much better job of that because I have to fall back. I just talked to a buddy of mine, and he was telling me about some underground service in his location in Florida. Ran out, and the utility company brought a battery up, hooked it up to the meter, and it all worked. And so I haven't seen that type of technology. They said it ran for 3 weeks on running a whole household. It was, basically something that could be wheeled around on a hand dolly on a cart. But we know it's out there. We just haven't seen it. But I'm sure that's available, but we don't know all about that side of it. But I'm gonna let you go solar. We have the promise to help ourselves become energy independent patriots. And a very safe component part of this mission is to accelerate the adoption of solar power. Harvesting solar generation of electrical energy is a great choice to fuel the seed energy needed to step up to personal independence. And the seed energy, I haven't been able to get away from it. Okay. There's no such thing as perpetual motion in my book. You have to have a way to store it and run off of it. You can get things to run an awful long time with different cues, but there's a secret going on somewhere. Some kind of generation is happening that can be made safe, but it's not out in the main field area. But we have that promise, and the safe component part of this mission is the solar energy. This year, 2019, we now have ability to receive a return on investment, and the federal government gives you a 30% incentive for independent minded patriots to get on board with solar energy power. So with that being involved, you can do that. So I'm just like you are. I'm people working with others, serving responsive and reliable solar materials distribution that is transforming into power for the homes. And it's become a very serious industry. I wasn't aware how serious the solar companies had gotten, and they really have some cool stuff that I hadn't seen until I rediscovered solar again. And we have very powerful panels that we can recharge batteries with. And I explained that a little bit yesterday in my presentation of the, Y half cells and the different type string inverters and different type hookups. So, kind of decide what you're wanting to do. My serious backup system will involve overall, I hadn't finished designing it, but somewhere it could be under 36 6-volt batteries, but I'm going with 6-volt batteries instead of 12-volt batteries, and about 225 amp batteries. So that still looks to me over 8-10 years a very good investment. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. What you do, it's your state of the art, but that's what I'm going to do for now. They have, I'm expecting the better batteries, competitive pricing to come out, and then I also have a way to sell used batteries back through the marine industry. So it's, I've got a trick in there. What you do may be a different thing. To make solar possible for everyone interested, I developed a working relationship with developers who are striving to be the most innovative solar distributors that I've been able to find, and they cover our world's market. I mean, everyone. What they've done is they've already put together a project to provide equipment and technical services to meet the unique needs of independent home and business people, just like myself. I mean, I can engineer a system, okay, but I want to be on the cutting edge of that. I want to go in and tap into the different programs they now have available with the solar footprint, getting the solar window, getting the best designs available per location. And, I can't do that myself. Never have been able to do, even when doing all the things that I do. I've always had team members behind me. I'd come in with my napkins and everything and drop it on their table, and they'd draw it all up for me. And then I'd come back and present it to the customer, even in my, and still do that today. I have people that back me up when I'm working with things. But this particular people are a group of people that have been doing this. They know doing that. They love talking to me because they go, wow, I hadn't thought about that, or I hadn't seen this. And so it's an industry that is very exciting, and people are learning more and more about it every day. So, if you don't want to get serious about it, start looking at it and see what you find. And the grid tie inverters that go on each cell. I was looking last night, and I can take two 400-watt solar panels, that's 800 watts, hook it to a grid tie, and I can actually plug that in and have extra energy in that format. Okay, so I've even discovered things that's coming out that different ways to do it. The right grid ties for solar backup, and what's that involved with normal combustion engine or diesel generation backup. I'm finding the right equipment to do that with. So those of you interested, I'm glad to talk to you, build a relationship with you. But it takes companies with technical backup that have the people that are looking into everything. This type of distributors I'm talking about, they put the buying power in your hands. Okay, the job that I've got two jobs that are still in the proposal stage and working out to engineer the best programs for them, but both of them want the ability to sell energy back through net metering back to the power companies. And the one house, they use so much power, it's obscene. Then this other house, they use a lot of power as well. I mean, their energy bill is up there, but in their area, they're only limited to 10 kW. Okay, I can put a 30 kW system where I live, but they're limited to 10 kW. Okay, and so the poles and wire guys, they don't want to be completely out of the picture yet, but you do have the ability to sell energy back to the companies. Look into it, find out what your local jurisdiction is doing. Very important. Oh, also, take the time to negotiate with your power companies if you can to get the best deal. I saved one person already just by renegotiating your bill about 4 cents a kilowatt hour on their bill, And that doesn't sound like very much, but over a 3-year period of their energy usage, in their case, is $7,200. So renegotiate those deals. A lot of people, oh, it's a light bill, and they put you on a month-to-month contract at their highest rate after whatever deal that you made. So there's been a year since you made a deal with your power provider. Find out about those things. If you have pass-through current, like we have the poles and wire guys, and then we have our energy providers, and we have a whole plethora of those that we can choose from. The poles and wire people, find out what those charges are, what the taxes are, what your meter amount is. You can negotiate those things. Now, the poles and wire people are usually set up by the state, so that's a whole nother thing. But what I've done is that with my customer, they can actually send their check to the people. I don't want to be a middleman in any of this. Okay, I negotiated a deal for what I'm doing, and you guys that are wanting to do that. And when you do the installations and everything on a small scale, but this is a complete industry of design. I mean, architects can design these systems right into their new projects that they're doing if they'll just do it. I'd be a good resource to work with architects. I'm interested in active and passive solar homes, heating swimming pools, running pump motors, also running greenhouses and those type things. I have all kinds of HVAC experience that's a little bit obsolete for what they're doing now. However, the technology that I'm working on in the HVAC market could be really ground changing, because I'm tying it in from my experience to, well, what they're doing now is safe, but I'm working on another project to make it even better. So, but this company that I'm working with, they're doing their best to strive to offer a full selection of modules, inverters, racking, balance of systems. The thing is, with the off-the-shelf products, they're still limiting you. And especially with some of the grid tie units, they, the main thing is protect the grid, protect the grid, protect the grid. So the powers that be, first of all, if you're running off grid, they want that locked out to where the meter, where your energy is not making an island out there should their power go down, and someone not anticipating that the circuit's live, because the way that works on the transformer, if you're sending 240 volts to that island, well, that's upping it to 7,200 volts or 1440 or whatever their power is, so you can energize a line with high voltage potential and get somebody hurt. So you got to protect the grid, protect the grid, protect the grid with lockouts, and they don't have the lockout systems as well engineered as I would like them to be. A lot of things lacking with the micro inverter grid ties, such as if your power goes off, you don't have that pulse, and working with workarounds to do that safely. So there is a company supposedly by 2020 that's supposed to have a micro grid tie inverter that when the power goes down, and but understanding all the rules that's in that, being able to shut down the system, the panels that I'm buying are capable of producing 1,500 volts. Okay. In my local jurisdiction, they don't want to see anything on my roof that's over 600 volts. Okay. And so there are advantages to doing that, and guys that work with Tesla products know what that is, but we're working on that. But like I said, the equipment is, it's already pre-qualified, that's out there with this company I'm talking about, and they've already worked with long-term reliability. Look very closely when you buy panels, when you buy inverters, when you buy grid ties. Look very closely at the warranty, because a lot of the people have warranties that you're responsible to send that unit back, and that could be to China, that could be to Australia, that could be to Canada. And so you have to pay the freight to get that back up to them. So look at all the conditions on the warranty. However, there's companies out there that have 25-year warranties on their grid tie inverters, and there's companies that have 25-year warranties on their solar panels. And so the 25 years is where you can get your return on investment. Now with solar panels, there is a degradation that happens to them to where you have a percentage of loss every year with the system. So a brand new system, as it gets older, after 10, 12 years, it quits performing as well. And so the least, when you're buying full pop products, what you're paying for is the warranty. Okay. And so if it comes to where you're going to spend $5,000 on panels, $6,000 on panels, $10,000 on panels, I'm looking at this from a 7-8 year return on investment, knowing that I'm going to have to make modifications to it to make it better, but I don't want to limit myself to what I believe those modifications are. And hang on just a minute. Got a phone call coming in. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, you're right live on my YouTube channel right now. I'm 16 minutes and 36 seconds into YouTube. And
I got this noisy ass tower truck next to me. What'd you say?
I said you're live on my YouTube channel right now.
Live on your YouTube channel?
Yeah.
How?
Because I'm doing my YouTube and I put the phone right up next to the computer, and so you and I are having a conversation as I was doing my presentation today's work. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah. And Jason usually shows up, but he didn't show up, so he can listen to this later and get it, and then you can listen to it later and get a laugh out of it.
Oh, I love it.
I don't have any visitors on it yet. Yeah, I was just telling them about you now have a powerful team that I'm using that's to provide engineering experience and installation, should people want to get serious of putting solar on their homes, and the equipment do every job. And they really do have a dedicated customer support system. And I was explaining that, I'm not trying to be in business. I just want to pass on those savings that I found for myself on to anybody that's interested in this technology and to get into it. And that's about the end of my presentation. I hope they're having fun, because we are, aren't we? Roy?
It's all good.
Oh, well, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off the YouTube, and because I was done. But so yeah, that's interesting about that battery. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I've never either. But he described it and told me what happened. I'm like, son of a bitches. I guess if I owned the power company, I would be developing just exactly what I described anyway, because it keeps shit running without pulling in a big old generator.
Yeah. Yeah, battery power is so quiet. I've always liked battery power over a generator. I've always liked the Honda generators when they came out with that 1 kW Honda generator.
Oh, yeah, they were always the quietest.
That was just really quiet. And then they came out with the hybrids after that other people, copied the design and manufactured. But I worked on one of those last week, or week before last. The guy bought it for $50, and I serviced it. To me about 45 minutes to service it, and fired that joker up, and had to repolarize it, but it worked perfectly. I mean, I'm talking about 45 years after being in storage for 8 years, 45 minutes of cleaning it up after being in storage for 8 years. He got himself a good $1,000 generator for less than $100.
Oh yeah, I pulled out a Gentech out of the fucking somebody's trash. It's only 14. I think it's 1400 watts. Not much.
Well, 1400 watts is good energy, especially when you have none.
Oh yeah, and the engine runs and everything. They just disconnected all the damn inverter and all that other stuff. So I gotta get into it because the motor's looks freaking beautiful.
There you go. You can charge your battery up with that.
Well, it is what it's nice. Have it start, and then maybe beef it up to where I get more than 1500 watts out of it.
Yeah, the key to that is if it has a capacitor in it, you can change the capacitor out to make it 110 or 220 just by changing the capacitor out of it. It has a capacitor in it.
Yeah, it's got several capacitors.
Yeah.
I went online a long time ago and learned how to make my own inverter. I was like, oh, that's how they do it.
Oh, the inverters are easy.
Yeah, just capacitors, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Just a couple little circuitry on diodes. Wasn't much to it.
Yeah, the thing that I like to do is to take a small circuit and reverse it, where the output is at 0.10 watts and the 0.10 watts, and then the output is capable of being 220 volts at an amp. That's, to me, that's pretty impressive.
So I guess when I get home later, I got a little hunch on an idea about 2x4s or just anything that's non-metallic, rocks, stones. I want to demonstrate a little video on something that I used to call the skin effect. But I want to. Last night I thought of this, but I was so pooped and tired and exhausted from work.
Yeah.
I didn't have the energy. I just sat there, drank a couple beers, and stared at everything in my workshop, listening to music. I said, I'm going to go back. I got so many videos. It's like,
oh, I know you. I've listened to most of them through the years. I mean, I've really enjoyed your videos through the years, and I'd put them on in the shop. I do have to run here. I can't wait to see your next video presentation. I do have to run. I've got to get some stuff done in the next 20 minutes. Is time that I have to get it done on time. So I got to run right now and get it done. But
all right, Bill. I'll call you later on.
All right.
But I want to create a dipole in a rock and see if I can alter the molecules in it. But I'll talk to you later about it.
All right, brother. Love you.
I love you too. Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye. Oh, I thought I shut that off. Uh-oh. Well,